you know, guys with great sense of humour, really driven with the sport, and you know, managed to get through to you know, a top 8.
Two big personalities,
two big personalities is right. You know, they will be the man to get you know, get out on track against each other. Absolutely.
That's it, and as I said, you know, these guys have won a piece now in Mondello, so who's going to draw blood this time and take the advantage? We've seen some very close strikes between the two, some real door-to-door action. Both back in the same machinery last year, so I can see this being another replay of a fantastic battle here in our top 16. Wesley Keating running the 9J NS2Rs on the back of his car. Of course, they're also an IDC sponsor. He is the WKD Import boss man, taking on the Thunder, John McCarthy. Here we go, Wes Keating to lead out John McCarthy. And don't be surprised if this one goes one more time, but here we go. John McCarthy not giving an inch to Wes Keating as they make a big exit.
And John McCarthy.
Yeah, you can see what's happening there is Wes is on he's got that track day performance, extra lock at 70 degrees, no Ackerman lock in the front of the car. And he put it on big lock on the entry, and I think that's true, John McCarthy, because you can see it here. He puts big lock on, John McCarthy initiates right behind him. And John McCarthy, you can see here, just waiting to put the power down, and he just puts Wesley Keating perfect on all the clips. Pretty solid lead run from Wes, and now John McCarthy playing catch up for the rest of the run. You know, first spot here for Wesley Keating, and it's I think John McCarthy's spotter will probably have told him that, told him you can't mess up the entry now, you're going to need to go really, really hard. So John McCarthy will have to pull out an exceptional lead run here to try out draw Wesley Keating.
Yeah, with the exception of his one run in qualifying, his first run this morning, Wes has really been on it, and looking like a hard charger this weekend. We could see him go quite well and you know, progress quite far into the competition. But who knows, as I say, Dave, you never know what's going to happen when these guys go down to that first corner in Mondello.
Yeah, the atmosphere here in Mondello is just electric right now. The crowd waiting to see what's exactly going to happen here. John McCarthy leading them over the hill. Flat first, second, third, into fourth as John McCarthy will try and lead initiation to try and throw off Wes as they come in. No such luck there for John McCarthy. For both drivers there over the two runs, guys. Make some noise for Wes Keating and John McCarthy.
No clear winner, you'd have to say, Dave, after those two runs. Interesting to see how the judges will call it.
Judges looking for a replay there. Obviously, we have multiple angles here, which is, you know, what we want to see from our exceptional live stream team at See It Live. And you know, we have an amazing media team right with us the whole weekend. We have Josh Holdsworth pictures. I'll make some incredible videos, and of course, guys, get over to the lowlife.ie blog for all Ireland's car culture online. They're one of our media partners here at IDC. And we're just waiting for our judges to come back with a decision on this one. Now, of course, our judges make, you know, these decisions very, very carefully. They know the effort and the time and the money that goes into these cars, and it's not, you know, they're not just going to throw a decision out there willy-nilly. They've got to break it down to that critical part that they've said in briefing, the things that basically they discuss right throughout the weekend. And, you know, they'll talk it out amongst themselves. They have very much their own opinion, but they'll talk it amongst themselves, because sometimes, you know, someone might have seen something another judge didn't. So with the live stream and the fact that we now have multiple angle replays, we can see it from both sides. So as you can see here, we're seeing the behind view of John McCarthy and Wesley Keating, slowing it right down in high def slow-mo, just so our judges can get a really good picture of exactly what happened on track. Wesley Keating, you can see missing that clip there on the chase run, doing a lot of diving to try and get some proximity with John McCarthy. And we await for a decision for another competitor for the top 8 now, whether it's a prize or a punishment, because whoever wins this battle will go up against James Dean in the top 8. And both of our drivers await the decision. And for top 16, we make the decision. Top 8 will get the guys out of the cars. We'll have a couple of interviews with them. But we have a decision from our judges, and we'll go to our first judge, Brendan Stone.
My vote is with one more time.
One vote for one more time. If we get another vote for one more time, it will be a one more time. Dan Moorhead.
My vote goes with Wesley Keating.
Ooh, split decision in the judges. And it will come down to the Simon Cowell of Irish Drifting, Mr. Kieran Hines, our head judge.
I'm feeling good today. One more time.
So we are going to go one more time between Wes Keating and John McCarthy. Guys, give them a big round of applause as they head back to the start line. We got to go back. We got a split decision. So Kieran, you're calling it one more time.
Well, if effectively what we're looking there on the screen is of two mistakes. Wes runs through the corner. John misses. I'm not sure what to do here. John misses clip 2 completely. He's a little bit off. He does get clip 3. He closed back in, but he's shallowed up his line slightly. So that was the advantage Wes in the first run. In the second run, well, it rotates obviously, and John is chasing, or sorry, Wes is chasing John, and in that one, there was a bit of a gap there near the end. It overturned the first one, so it ended up squaring it back again. So we'd like to see it one more time.
So one more time but Dan, you're calling for Wesley Keating there. You had a decision made.
Yeah, it was a big mistake in the first run for John there. He actually practically drove straight past clip 2, reinitiated and then came in for 3. Now, he didn't really catch back up Wesley, but in the second run, Wesley maintained his drift, got into 1, got into 2. He did miss 3, but he was close enough to it and maintained the drift all the way around the track. That was what I felt, that there was an advantage to Wesley there. I mean, the one more time can easily be justified as well, if you know what I mean, but just I felt that there was that little bit more of a reason to give it to Wesley.
So there you have it, both judges disagree. We are going to go one more time, Eddie, because they're back on the start line, back to Wesley Keating leading out John McCarthy.
Yeah, Wesley Keating seems to love us one more time in Mondello Park. You know, we've seen in previous years him go up against, teammate and cousin Barry Leonard, but this time it is with Paul McCarthy. We said don't be surprised if it does go one more time. Can either driver pull the gap this time and just make the difference to get themselves into the top 8? Here we go, Wesley Keating to lead them out, followed closely in behind by Paul. Hold the line, guys, make some noise for both drivers, John McCarthy and Wesley Keating.
Yeah, really interesting run. It looked like John McCarthy made the mistake on the entry. Then he dived back in. It looked like Wesley Keating bogged down a little bit coming through NKC corner. So I think you can see here on the replay, Wes throws it in nice angle. John McCarthy again washing down the track quite a bit. And at this point now, Wesley Keating going very on at NKC corner. It looks like he's going to wash out. Look how close John McCarthy dived in. Certainly not letting off the throttle. And I'm not too sure. That looks kind of like 50-50 for me over the first run. So John McCarthy and Wesley Keating turn around. So this is one run to decide them now. So they've got to come down. Mistakes on the first run by both drivers, and of course the pressure's on. You can imagine, it's not easy to get out here. You're driving it. You're entering a car at 80 miles an hour over a blind hill that's off camber and downhill in front of a couple of thousand of people. So it's keeping your head in the game is very, very difficult. They make it look so easy on track, but remember, thousands and hundreds of little corrections and throttle response and everything goes into one of these runs, and a little mistake can cost you at this stage of the game. Here we go, John McCarthy. Now Wesley Keating very aggressive here from the start. Look at this for a dive from Wesley Keating. Right to John McCarthy, drops. Seems to happen every time these two guys go up against each other. It's always carnage on track. And Wesley Keating puts his hands up to the judges saying he has nowhere to go. Guys, put your hands together one more time for John McCarthy and Wes Keating. Big dive from Wesley on entry now. Wesley Keating is basically protesting that he has nowhere to go as John McCarthy does drop 2 wheels into the grass there. Wesley Keating puts 1 wheel in, and as they switch back, John McCarthy puts on a big lock. Wesley Keating just puts on a little bit too much. And he just caught himself out there. Excellent lock in that track day performance kit, but not enough to save him there. And our judges just looking for some high-def replays here, just so they can make sure they're making the right call here. It's going to come down to John McCarthy puts 2 wheels in, Wesley Keating puts 1 wheel in, and then Wesley Keating just sort of, I'm not too sure that John McCarthy's slow as he came through the corner. This is why it makes it such a difficult decision, for our judges. They want to make sure that they have absolutely all the information they can have before they make that decision. And it looks like, once again, we've seen wheels drop deciding in between John McCarthy and Wesley Keating for the past 2 seasons here, and it looks like it's going to decide it again. So, have we got a decision from our judges, Eddie?
It looks like we do. They've finished discussing this one. They've seen enough replays, it would seem.
Yeah, so we'll go back over to our judges. They're ready to give their decision. Who's going to go through to the top 8? Brendan Stone.
My vote is John McCarthy.
One vote for John McCarthy. Dan Moorhead.
My vote is with John McCarthy.
And John McCarthy will go through to the top 8. Guys, give it up for Wes Keating putting on a real show for the fans. And we got to go back to our judges quickly. Dan, talk us through that one.
It's pretty much coming back down to the second run now. I had given Wesley a slight advantage after the first run there because like both drivers had made some mistakes now, but like